Hey guys, I just woke up. It's 9 a.m. That's quite late, but fortunately I can never sleep much longer because it gets real hot in here. So I think by 8:30 usually it's just a living hell in this tent. So I'm just gonna take a plunge real fast in the sea and hopefully get my head straight. This is what I'll have to sort out before heading out for the breakfast and then to the city to work, the great co-working place. So close to my camping place, I can just push my bike right down here. It's the best place ever for eating. It's the outskirts of Split, and this is where I usually have my breakfast and dinner. Often I don't have lunch at all. I'm just gonna head in for a cheese and ham sandwich. Best thing ever. It's 20 kunas. It's a great price. So what I always consume here is a Coke and this cheese sandwich. Meanwhile, I listen to good old Joe Rogan. It's a nice journey always. But it's kind of funny that I ride like around 4 to 5 hours a day just to get to the places where I have to be. So here's the place. It's called Prostor. It's a local Croatian co-working place. So it's not intended just for digital nomads, but mostly for locals and artists to collaborate and just meet each other and have a place to work at. If they are like young entrepreneurs or young artists. This is the inner part. This is the place where I usually hang out. Okay, so the point of this whole project is basically to research digital nomads. But the reason I live in a tent is because I try to experiment with the basic idea of mobility in the 21st century. And what this mobility partly enables is a kind of discomfort that is not for the productivity for generating capital and wealth. So you have the option to have a human discomfort and in the same time work and be productive. You know, it's kind of the idea that the hippies and the Beat generation had in the 50s and the 60s, that you need some kind of connection with the simplicity of I guess primitive living, but it was very withdrawn. So if people used to live in a commune, it basically became a kind of like old school or I guess ancient commune where they were just basically almost living the same lifestyle as people used to live, I guess, hundreds of years before. So what's interesting in digital nomadism is that you can have few of the discomforts that are necessary to stay in touch, I guess, with reality, but you can also be productive. But you don't have to be crazy productive like this 24 hours work days, like this grind lifestyle. You can be productive to the degree that is necessary to achieve what you want to achieve, and then I guess sustain yourself, create something. And also there is another kind of productivity. You don't always have to measure productivity in an economic output. And you have some creative freedom to think about things that are not necessary for you to think about normally when you just want to achieve something in your job anyways. So one part of this digital nomad concept is co-working, because mobility also brings the freedom of not only the option to like live a kind of, I guess, unnecessarily hard or like simple lifestyle, but also gives the freedom of achieving situational outcomes. So situational creativity is, I guess, is the new form of creativity when you don't have like a very set goal and you don't have the steps. Okay, first I have to do this, first I have to do this. This is how I work, this is my creative process. With situational creativity, you kind of explore spaces and even cultural spaces, and from that outcome, you can create something very unexpected. The internet itself is a place for situational creativity, and the most important part of situational creativity is that it's not clear who are the creators. So usually you meet random people. The internet, again, is a simple space for that, because maybe you create something and then people comment on it. So then you take that into consideration. You go live on a platform and then people can comment on it or tell you what to do or have a discussion with you. So the situational creativity is an important and interesting factor, and co-living and co-working spaces enable it in a physical form. Also, if you can manage to get some cameras and some digital equipment in a co-working space, then it's even more situational, because you have like these random people working here and then also the online part. Whatever, not to get too far away from the main concept, I don't want to make this segment too long, but the main point, I guess, for me of a co-working space is enabling situational creativity. So people with a similar, like more flexible mindset to work from the same place and essentially enable them to be more mobile by not having to rent out an expensive place, but also enable them to be more mobile in their creative processes, because they don't have to work with the same people, they don't have to work in the same rhythm all the time, so it's flexible. And I guess that's the main part of this whole digital nomad project, is to explore mobility, to explore flexibility. And now I have to clap, because that's how you have to synchronize the sound, as I was taught.